1.
Have you ever owned a Ford, specifically the F-150 with the 5.4 liter V8 Triton motor in it? Well, if you have, you already know what I'm going to say. If you haven't, today I'm going to show you why you should never buy this truck with this motor. I would know this because I've had this truck for the past 2 years and it's been nothing but problems for me. But before I start bashing this truck, I would like to point out the good things about it. Then I'll point out the bad things. So, many of the good things are, the inside of this truck is actually very roomy. It's very comfortable to drive. It doesn't sit too tall, so even stock height, you can still get back into the woods where you need to get to. If you take this thing off-road, you can still do it. It gets pretty good gas mileage. It gets about 13 highway, 11, 12, 10, 11 city in that range. See what else is good about it. The back seats can fold up perfectly to where you have no back seats, so you just have a bunch of room in the back of your truck, which is good if you haul things like I do. Other than that, there's not much good about it. The bad things are, this is a modular motor, so that means when something fails on this motor, it's time to get a new motor. And these motors are not cheap. They're around 13 to 15,000 a piece. And that's just for the block. That's not for building anything up. Also, another bad thing about these is that the oil is very, very lightweight. It's 5W20 oil. So you need to change it a lot. Actually, about every month you need to change the oil. And that can get slightly pricey if you're working a job that doesn't pay as much, or if you don't have a good shop to go to and they charge outrageous prices for oil changes, because you cannot do this at home. This truck's oil filter is located underneath the passenger side tire, which is the tire I'm on, with it also in between the exhaust pipes. So that's not good either. They don't have the best transmissions in these trucks. This one just has a 4-speed automatic, which is failing epically being a transmission. I've had to replace this motor once. I don't want to replace it again. That's how I know how much it costs. It's because I've done everything that I've mentioned I've had to do on my own at one point. So, in conclusion, even though they are very good trucks, and there are some good things about this truck, the biggest thing that's bad about them is the fact that it has a modular motor, which is not, it doesn't hold up to anything pretty much. So, once again, if you ever own this truck, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've never owned this truck, hopefully this will give you some insight on this truck, so that way if you end up buying one, you know exactly what you're walking into. And that's really about it about the truck.